Welcome to my channel Gauri Namani. In this video, I wish to point out a few points about Prime Minister Modi and External Affairs Minister Jaishankar. Throughout this period, right from the beginning of the earlier their behavior as players, as main batsman, Mr. Modi, and as the runner, Jaishankar had played very well, and the recipients also have received them in their respective position. Say, for instance, Bangladesh has Silimidon and deep third man Iran. They have taken the respective very well. They have received them very well. And in this context, why we come to know very recently people talking nonsense about मोदी कायर है, अमेरिका से डर गया, उसका इतना नहीं झुकना चाहिए, हर बात उसका मान लेना चाहिए, उतना अवेयर है, उसका भी नहीं मानता है, किसी का भी नहीं मानता है, वगैरह वगैरह. So this nonsense talk is something people who are in that position and how they know how to behave with others. We cannot from a distance say exactly this should have been that should have been done, all that, because this pressurizing tactics from US have always been with them. Not only now, our Indian Prime Minister, Mr. Nehru's inclination towards USSR and even declaring a socialistic pattern of society in India, they would not, this American system would not like it, and that they would show elsewhere. But still, overall, the friendships were all right with everyone, and especially we had imitated their 7-year plans. Instead of 7 years, we had Mr. Nehru had taken, and our government had taken a 5-year plans, and things moved according to those plans, and we were doing well with those plans. Even the next batches of prime ministers is cricketing Nixon and Kissinger combination. They would always want others to toe their line, but when we helped Bangladesh against their will, still they knew it was, if they entered just after exiting from Vietnam, they could not afford to enter another war. But now it has been long gap, so Mr. Trump has entered, and now people say that the type of behavior Mr. Indira Gandhi showed with Kissinger and Nixon, that type of behavior cannot be shown with this man Trump. With all his Christianity, he is a Satan, he is a madman, he is not a normal being. So behavior with them will be as indefinite as his behavior. That's what these people are doing. And certain places they were obeying him, certain places they were disobeying him, as per our needs. Because so far we have been watching only the fireworks scenario on the TV. If they had done any mistake by this time, we too would have entered, had those fireworks and all the missile systems and full war by this time. But they restrained, and their calculated behavior, very exact to the need of the hour, has kept us in the peace zone. Many years ago, cyclone times at Kakinada, our house, opposite house, tiles were flying, the wind was slowly blowing, but slowly picking up the speed. A mini cyclone was announced by the Met Department, and slowly the tiles of the opposite house were flying from the house, and we were sitting in the open outside, and we were watching those tiles coming, we were laughing. And within 3 minutes, the direction of the wind changed. Our tiles also started blowing up. So similar thing would have happened if our these two guys had not behaved the way they had done. It's very easy to comment others, but it comes to be in the place and with restraint, because it's very difficult to restrain when somebody is ordering you. That is questioning your sovereignty. But still, in places where it is needed, we have to bow down. Overall, we have they are powerful. No doubt, we have some power, but as compared to their strength and their power, it not to that extent. To that extent, and and I hear some they talk about resignations in Modi's regime about some top officers. Here, because one officer is resigning, the second one has the guts to resign. And Modi is a soft dictator, not a full time. The level to the election Nehru was. Nehru, there is no one who would have had the guts to who have had the guts to resign. They had to complete their tenure. The only adversary Nehru had was Jayaprakash Narayan, whom he kept at bay very intelligently. But these resignations talk about Modi in Modi's regime. That means he is at least he is permitting them to resign if they are not fitting in line with the system, falling in line with the system. That point has to be noted. Any single mistake, the price would be very heavy. They have behaved their best restraint, and that aspect we must note, irrespective of emotions. It's very easy to be emotional, and by this time we should have helped this guy, that guy. The talk comes. We have been common to in this scenario. Modi is a Samaritan. He has been friends with everyone. Starch enemies. He has been friends with both. And within their conscience, they too feel they would not let it out that later on, for peace purposes, such a person is required, not a person who simply joins them and fights the war in winning or losing. Modi is a Samaritan, statesman, philosopher, all that. That's secondary to this. What he does in the keeping in good of the country in his view. He is doing exactly according to the previous definitions of what we had told. An ambassador is a person who lies abroad for the good of his country. All these takes place according to needs, and he changes. He hides himself, or he doesn't come out in the open according to the need in the international scenario. Because a guy who is sometimes now asking help, once his previous, if he was his adversary to us or hostile to us, we should not be yielding that help. No doubt, helping is good, but there we have to take into consideration how he behaved with us, whether it is Zelensky or Khamenei. Ayatollah Khomeini conducted all his revolution staying outside Iran, staying in Paris. He hosted Shah of Iran, staying in Paris, not staying outside. and in his place he was a Lucknow born, Indian born, and his next generation have taken over, and uh, previously we had only Arabs versus Israel. That's we were thinking, but we did not know the build-up was Iran versus Israel was so strong that they are getting into a full-time war. Only after the war has broken out and the way it is going on, both the sides are now getting into attrition of the emissions, exhaustion of the emissions, or exhaustion till fatigue, and they won't listen to third parties at this juncture. However anybody might say, the restraint should come from themselves, and after the initial or prolonged, if it is prolonged to a longer extent, both sides might come to an understanding for peace. That's what let us hope, and we will have an atmosphere, and we will be back to a peace zone. Because this war is prolonged, because for many years, due to globalization time, there were no wars. The standard wars between India, Pakistan, Iran, Iraq, all those wars stopped because of globalization. Each company would say, right now, please don't attack, don't do any wars. Our company is doing very well. In both the nations, our company is doing very well. They were holding the business aspect, and of globalization was holding wars. And when anything goes into excess, nature comes out. There was too much money making, and they were gone to the extent too much lopsided imbalances accrued, and the one-sided money making resulted in very strong. All other items being made to the extent there was no dilute levels, all concentrated levels. Every aspect of manufacturing, every aspect in life was going to the maximum level, and that was stopping the ecology. Once the ecology broke down, nature comes out to punish. Is all God, generation, operation, destruction. For a long time, when there was no destruction at intervals, small wars were not there, and this globalization took it went to the extent that there were no wars. And how would the nature's energy come out? It is so suppressed. That came out as corona, large scale destruction by nature. It was all due to globalization and extremes. Either you eat some in non-veg dishes, eat general chicken, beef, and all that, but there is a peculiar, neither bird nor that bat. It doesn't belong to both sides. None of them is not is an exclusive type. Eating even that is an extreme thing. It happened during or just before Corona. They had nothing else to eat. They ate that, and the result was one of the results was, or the main one of the causes of Corona was that, apart from globalization and too much of money making to the extent hitting the people's knees and kidneys and all that. So all wars were stopped, and now wars have taken place after a long time, and according to their own strengths, if they their initial if they whether they will get revealed to other third parties or by themselves, they might realize that we have had enough destruction. I think they might come down to by their own very sense the stoppage of war, and will come back to peace. That's my guess and intention. I conclude here.